Right. Starting off thinking of early life experiences, I think our first examples centred around 11 plus and the types of exams that people in the group might have sat at the age of 11 to determine the type of secondary school that they went to, which then would have a knock-on impact on whether they went to university or not, and possibly even future career chances. So we talked about the sort of limitations of those types of performance management systems, which then led us to a wider discussion about the SAT system in the UK schools at the moment, and how we measure performance in schools and the impact that that has, and whether that's useful information. We spoke around having fixed mindsets in relation to that information. It's an absolute. IQ is X, as opposed to development mindsets around my IQ might be X minus Y, but I have the potential to continually develop through life. And we had some discussion around how fixed mindsets versus developmental mindsets impacts on performance. We broadened that out to look at running, with some examples from Becky about joining the running club and the reasons for doing that. For many of the members of the running club, they start off as social reasons. The running club has a system whereby you can start to measure your performance, and initially that's looking at bettering your best performance, so it is developmental, but it gets to a point where, I think for Becky, she was a 3:45 and found herself starting the marathon with that sort of fixed knowledge, I'm a 3:45, and how then that starts to impact on mindset and performance on the day. So we spoke about running. Then we went on to talk about measures and why we have them, and issues of, are they about trust or are they about lack of trust? And we started to explore some of that. We then looked at imposed and self-determined. So we had examples again from early childhood of performance management and eating what's on your plate, and what were our natural reactions to imposed measures. And we moved that into the workplace, and again had an interesting example of a ward scenario where, again, they were very self-determining, so therefore came up with their own performance measures, which they were using to continually better themselves or to influence management around investments or their future or things they could be doing in the future. So we looked at the real sort of difference between measures that are imposed on people, the natural kickback, and empowering people to self-determine and engage in their futures. And we were able to start to look at that in relation to some work being done in the States around MRSA, and working with teams to actually, again, self-determine the measures that are useful for them and the impact that has on MRSA, as opposed to getting a target from central government, and then you translate that into, this is a number that I must not fail. How can I gather the information to ensure that I get the right number in the box, which sets off a whole different chain of events. And we finished our discussion around the real challenge to be develop measures that are meaningful and that are self-determining and meaningful to the people that are generating the measures.